Hi girls, so I just want to go through the technique for the plank for you, because even though I've done it in the plank challenge, which we're adding into our programme, I just think it's really important I can actually just go through that again with you, because I know that some people get backache from doing it and postural feelings of, you know, what does this feel right. So the first thing I'm going to say is, before you do the plank, if you can get a mirror, or if you can do it in front of your wardrobe mirror or wherever you can get a mirror, it would be really, really good for you to check what you're doing, because if you can see what you're doing and then it feels right, you can then do it without needing the mirror thereafter. So let's go through. There are 4 positions, as you know. We can do it on our elbows and knees. We can do it on our hands outstretched and our knees. You can do it on your elbows and toes, and you can do it on your hands and toes. So I'm just going to show you sideways on so that you can see. So first of all, I always like to start, if you start actually lying down, it's a much easier way to get started. And you're going to actually make sure that you've got your elbows underneath those shoulders, and look down and make sure that they are not wider than your body. Make sure that they are actually in line with those shoulders. It's really easy to get them sitting outside the line of your body, so try and make sure they're in line with your body. So let's just start initially with these elbows. I like to clasp my hands. You can have them in a parallel, so you can have them like this if you want to. You can have them in front of you, or you can clasp them. You choose which position makes it feel comfortable for you, all right? So this is where we're going to start. So what I want you to do is I want you to just take your bottoms up and take yourselves. So I actually tuck my toes under, so there's some engagement through my calves. And then what I like to try and do is I actually tend to always put my hand in the middle of my back, even though I know it's on one arm, but I like to just check where I'm at. But I'm pulling up through my tummy towards my spine. And if you look at my shoulders are really open. I'm pressing down into these elbows and not hunching down like this. I'm coming up, you're pressing away. And your head, you're going to be looking sort of like down towards the floor, so that you've got a nice line coming out of the top of your head, pulling you away that way. And then this is the first position. So this is one type of plank that you can do. So then what we're going to do from here, I'm just going to go from here, and then I'm just going to press away with my feet. I'm pressing away with my heels. And what I tend to do is I tend to go slightly higher, and then I bring myself down. Now, if you're finding that your back is aching, what's happening is this. You're doing this. You're almost like arching your body the wrong way. You need to be lifting your tummy up towards your spine. It's a slight lift in your bottom. My bottom is not down in line with my shoulders. My bottom is in line with my top part of my shoulders, and I've got a little bit of a line going down my body. So my tummy's in. I'm pressing away with those shoulders, opening them out, pressing away with my heels. I'm pressing those heels back. My elbows are underneath my shoulders, and I'm holding everything up. All right, so that is the elbow position on your knees or on your hands. Now, if you want to, you can start on your knees. And the reason I tuck my toes under is because if I want to go into my toes and long leg, I can, because they're already underneath. And you can do this. You can actually test yourself by doing a few knee dips. All right, so that's the first one. So I'm just going to give myself a breather there a second. All right, so we've got long legs and we've got bent legs. Now then, we're going to go into our hands. So remember, you're taking your hands, again, they're going to come underneath your shoulders. You're going to be pressing into the floor. Let's start off tucking those toes under. We're going to just press up, and we're going to be leaning forwards, making sure, and I'm just moving myself now, so I make sure that my elbows, my wrists, my shoulders are all in alignment. I'm pulling up through my tummy. Now, I've actually got quite an arched back naturally. It's very difficult for me to not look like I'm not arching it. But I am actually pulling my tummy in, and I've got my knees down, and I'm pulling up through, and I can really feel that I'm pressing through my shoulders. I'm really reaching through, and I'm looking down at the floor. All right, so this is the first position. And you're going to be bracing your weight in this position, which is really good. Then let's just push our feet, our heels away, lifting up through. Nice control. Make sure those feet are nicely positioned. They are hip width apart. Tummies are in. You're looking to the floor. You're reaching forward. Now then, what you don't want to do is you don't want to go into, this is the ladder, this is the step ladder. This is what a lot of people do, and you don't want to do this. This is the other thing. This is where you hurt your back. Is where you're almost like reaching like this. So you're pressing through those shoulders. You really need to make sure you press through as if your arms are in cement. All right, so that you can't pull those arms out. You're pulling up through that tummy. You're keeping your back as straight as you can without arching into it. Glutes are squeezed. Pressing those heels back. And that is how you do your plank. Knees come down, and then you can always go into that child's pose. Please, can you watch the videos from day one of the challenge, because you know they actually give you all that information going through. And what you'll find is the first 4 days are 10-second blocks with a 15-second interval. If that feels too easy, then maybe what you could do is do that version in the morning, something at lunchtime, something in the evening. So you could do 2 or 3 in the day. It's less than a minute at any time at that stage. As soon as you get to day, I think it's day 4 or 5, we start moving up. Now, as you can hear, I'm actually quite breathless now. What happens is your heart rate kicks up, your blood pressure kicks up, because a static pose is something that's very difficult for your body to do. It's sort of it recruits all your muscles. So it's not an easy exercise. It looks easy, but it actually is really tricky. But if you can get it, and you can get it so that you're really strong, things like press-ups, tricep dips, everything that you need to press yourself away, you know, your push-pulling on your body is going to be so much better because everything in your core is engaged and used. You're using those glutes and you're really helping press back those shoulders. So I'm going to be adding in, so the first week of the Fit for Life programme will have the first 7 days of the 28-day challenge. Then next week I'll put in the 8 to 21. Then I'll do 22 to 28 in the last week. So you can really progress through. And you do 3 lots of each of the exercise because you need to do more than a minute. As we go through it, you're needing to do more than a minute in order to sustain a minute. And you'll start noticing that big jump starting in week 2. So use this first week to get used to the technique and to try and make sure that you're not arching your back or slouching into your arms. You need to really press away. Always think about opening up those shoulders. This is what you don't want. You don't want to be slouching into it. You want to be pressing out. And that's something that if you see yourself in the mirror, you can actually get right. So I hope that helps, girls. And I really, really think that this is actually something that will really support every exercise that we do going forward. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the challenge. And I'm looking forward to see how we all progress as we go along. All right, I'll see you soon.